Well, welcome back to the Piney Woods Homestead. We're going to do a true walk and talk today. There's a whole lot of water vapor in the air. It's pretty humid, but I just told Lisa I need to stretch my legs because for really about a day I have been kind of cooped up. The weather's been so bad, and sometimes you just got to get out and stretch your legs no matter what. We're going to talk about vapor today. We're going to talk about life. Guys, thanks for stopping in here at the Piney Woods. Y'all, the scripture I am using today or referencing from comes out of James chapter 4, starting in 13. So let me read it. Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to such and such a city, spend a year there, buy and sell, and make a profit, whereas you do not know what will happen tomorrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes away. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we shall live and do this or that. But now you boast in your arrogance. All such boasting is evil. Therefore, to him who knows the good that he should do and does not do it, to him that is sin. We're going to talk about that just a little bit. We're going to talk about life. For those of you guys that have watched us for any amount of time, you've heard me say we grew up living this way. Growing all of our own food for the majority of the time. But I want to kind of go backwards a little bit and kind of expand on that just a little bit. When I was born, this is a long time ago now, seems like just a minute ago, y'all. I was born in a little old place technically called Mount Olive. I think that was the actual address, Mount Olive, North Carolina, where they make the pickles, the best pickles in the world, in my opinion. But that's where I was born. My family roots had been part of eastern North Carolina as far back as we can go, y'all, which is to the early to mid 1700s. Kind of get lost after that, but that's where our family, on my side, not Lisa's side, that's where our family came straight from supposedly England or Wales. Not really sure which one, but know it was in the southeastern portion of England or Wales. And so that's a long time to be in the same spot. And y'all, I'm being extra cautious because after killing that copperhead a few weeks ago, and now a little bit of rain's coming out, the weather's just right. I'm sure they're slithering all over the place, but I hope not. So I'm going to kind of take it easy as I'm walking back here through the woods. But back to Mount Olive. I have always felt like that's where my roots are. Even though my family had moved to the Piedmont of North Carolina when myself and my siblings were younger, much younger. Our parents moved us up here for better opportunity because, y'all, where we are from, it is dirt. It is dirtier than dirt poor, or it's probably better now. It is better now, but back then you either farmed or you farmed. That was it. And it was pretty much just a land of small opportunity. And so our parents had the foresight to move us to an area where they felt like we could get a better education and have more opportunities. But yet here we are, still raising pigs. And Rosie is sound asleep over here, y'all. She is loving, oh, she's waking up. I don't have no treats for you. Every time I come down here, she thinks I got her a squash or something, and normally I do. But my roots, I have always felt like they are in the eastern part of North Carolina. But y'all, when you turn your life to Christ, now your roots are somewhere totally different. My dad said this the other day, and I really didn't agree with it at the time. He said that I have always had a free spirit. And I was like, no, I hadn't. But honestly, yes, I have. Because I have never felt like there is anything that holds me to where we are. We love living the way that we do. We love living here on the Piney Woods homestead. And Lord willing, and the creek don't rise too high, we will always homestead. But I know that this is not my eternal home. And I know that life can change because we are but a vapor. Lisa and I have had so many plans for many years. And some of those plans have came together just like we had hoped that they would. But not every plan does. Because we do not fully know what God's plan for our life always is. Now we can look back. I can look backwards in my life. And I can see where God orchestrated many different things to occur in my life, or things that He allowed to occur in my life to shape me into the man that I am today. When I was a younger man, and I'm talking 16, 17 years old, my dad had planted me 1/4 of an acre of okra. That was a lot of okra, y'all. And it was my job during the school break to tend to that okra every single day, because we had a local farmer's market at the time. It was not fancy like it is now. Now you got to have paperwork to be able to go and sell at it. It's much nicer. The facility's nice. But way back then, it was 3 oak trees. You paid $3 and you could sit under it all day long and sell your produce. Didn't matter who you were, what have you. Times have changed. But my focus was not on farming at 16 years old. My focus was, how many dollar bills can I make? Because I really want to buy myself a vehicle. And so that was my inspiration, to buy myself a vehicle. So one summer, I spent all summer long, and I thought I saw a snake, it was a stick, tending to that okra, y'all, because the hotter and more humid it is down south here, the better that okra grows. And so I was having to go out there and pick that stuff twice a day, early in the morning, late in the evening. Well, I had in my mind I was going to pick so much okra, get to the farmer's market, I'm going to walk away with a $100 bill. You know, this is my plan. Well, the biting flies were pretty bad that morning, and I was toting a knife much like this one right here, and I had a 5-gallon bucket. Let's see, I was carrying a 5-gallon bucket in my right hand and my pocket knife. So I'm holding the handle and my pocket knife like this, and as I'm going down through the rows, I grab hold of the bucket with my left hand, pop off the okra, put it in the bucket. Well, the biting fly lit on my right hand right here, and my immediate reaction when it started chomping on me, because them things hurt, was I took my left hand and I swiped across the top of my right hand where that knife was, cutting my fingers, 3 of them, to the bone. It looked like I had been stuck or popped with something else. If you follow my drift, I don't think I'm supposed to use certain terms on YouTube, but it looked like I had been involved in a major incident, and it kind of was. I hopped on the tractor, held my hand up here at my chest, and drove the little Massey Ferguson 35 all the way back from the creek bottom to the house, because we even planted gardens and creek bottoms then, just better moisture. By the time I get up to the house, my mother sees me. I think I had a white t-shirt on, and I was covered, y'all, covered in that red stuff that leaks out of you when you cut yourself. And she took me straight to the emergency room. Well, back then, the emergency room isn't what it is today. It was probably actually better. Didn't have a big waiting area. Weren't a whole bunch of people sitting out there waiting on getting checked out for the sniffles, because that just seems to be what happens these days. But I got right in. It took a while, and they gave me I think a pint of blood, because I had lost that much between the house and the hospital, which was about a 10 or 15 minute ride. sewed me up real good, left me with no feeling in one finger right here and partial in this one, and the pinky, it's good. I can still feel in it, but even to this day, y'all, I was 16 years old or 17, I still can't feel the ends of my fingers right there. But I had this plan. I was going to go make this money. That was my plan, because I'm putting that money back to buy a vehicle. But something happened. I look back now and realize I was just a vapor. I still am just a vapor. And it doesn't matter the plans that I make for myself, how much money I'm going to make today, tomorrow, the next day, a year from now. Used to hear this thing at the police department all the time. What's your 5-year plan? It's great to have goals. It's even more great if you make Christ the center of your plans and acknowledge that he determines your footsteps. I hadn't always done that in life, but I can tell you that for the past many years, I have. And it's called living on faith. And it is probably not the easiest thing to do, because when you're putting money into a bank account and seeing it grow, it increases your faith in what you're doing. But when you are relying on the Lord for the rain that falls from the sky, or doesn't for 30 days, and now we've had a little shower, when you're relying on the Lord for every bit of your sustenance, you find out just how big your faith is. And my dad and I were having this talk the other day, and I said, really, Dad, it's kind of like you either have faith or you don't. Some people, not everybody is like me, and I acknowledge that. Some people have great faith, and they have great bank accounts too. God chooses to bless those he chooses to bless in those ways. Not that I haven't been blessed that way in my life too, y'all, because there have been many times that I have. But what I'm getting at is, just like in James chapter 4 right there, let us not boast about what we're going to do tomorrow or the next day or 5 years from now, but let us look to God, the one that created us, molded us in our mother's womb, and acknowledge that he has a plan for us. Acknowledge that it is only him that we can trust to get us to wherever we're going here on planet Earth. Take him one day at a time, y'all. Take him one day at a time. And thanking him when he provides, because he always does. Y'all, he has provided me with plenty of work, especially here as of late. I've been off to Homestead more than I've been on it here lately. And I love running that excavator, so it is a good thing. I don't feel like I'm working, not one bit in that thing. It's like a whole day of play for me. The only thing that's work is hauling that thing here and to and fro. That gets a little nerve-wracking, but I love it, y'all. It's just like when I was a kid out playing. The day went by so fast. It goes by fast when I'm on that machine too. Just goes to show you once again, we are just a vapor, y'all. I'm 45 years old, and it feels like yesterday I was 5, running around picking pokeberries with my brothers, playing cowboys and Indians, putting that pokeberry juice on my face, and running around with Lone Ranger 6-shooters, cap guns. It feels like it was yesterday, because we are only a vapor. And I guess that I'm kind of going with that today, because I'm 45. It seems like just a minute ago I was 5. My dad tells me that it's 77. I believe I'm correct there, Dad. That it feels like 5 minutes ago he was 45. We never know how much time that we have. We are always pushing forward to eternity. So my challenge to you today is that if you have not acknowledged God, Christ, the risen Savior, that you will, because eternity is approaching, whether we like it or not. Guys, I hope you have a good day and a great week. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise too high, we will see you on the next one.